Hey everyone, this is Jack with Freedom Homestead. On this video, we're actually going to show you a wonderful place to just travel and get away for the weekend with a family, a good place to visit on a vacation if you're coming through Kentucky. My son and I have not been able to do a lot this summer. He's been away to camps and been doing karate and other things. We took a weekend where just he and I decided to go camping and scout out an area that I'd never been before, even though I grew up just a couple of hours away from this place. We went to a place called River Gorge and Natural Bridge State Park. And this is in Kentucky, and we wanted to scout the area out, find good places to hike, to camp, to visit, so we can do a family trip up there and take a longer time and take Tangy and just enjoy the place. So want to take you along, show you the things we got to do, and just highly recommend it. We actually had an amazing time. We packed up the Jeep, we headed out for the weekend, and here's what we did. So the very first place we went to is a place called Gorge Underground, and it's right outside of Red River Gorge. It's an abandoned limestone mine that was flooded, so they started doing kayaking trips through it. And my son really wanted to do this, and we had an amazing time. It was a lot of fun, about an hour-long trip inside this flooded mine. So after our kayaking trip, we headed into Red River Gorge, and we had to go through this famous tunnel. This is not a tunnel. It's close to Slade, Kentucky, and it is a one-lane tunnel. So if you go into it and see headlights, you better back out and wait your turn. But this is, I guess you could call it the unofficial gateway into Red River Gorge. It takes you into the interior of the area, which is managed by the Forest Service, and we were really pleased with how well their visitor center was set up and how helpful they were with maps and telling us where to go and where to hike and places to see. This has become a very popular place with rock climbers because of the huge rock shelters. They're everywhere in this area. I actually kind of felt like we were in the Great Smoky Mountains. So we found a few places to hike, and we just got out and kind of stretched our legs and hiked around. And here's one of the rock shelters we come up on. These are just everywhere, mostly sandstone cliffs and rock shelters. But and they weren't too bad. They were easy hikes. We kind of picked a few just to start off with. I guess with the pandemic, I'm not in the greatest shape as I used to be. So we did some short hikes, especially good family hikes. When we bring the whole family back up, we'd be able to see these amazing places. This rock shelter was huge. You could have put a house inside of it. And the next thing we did is we heard about the big rock arches, and so we hiked a few trails to some of these rock arches, and I'll be honest with you, they were huge. They were much larger than I was expecting. Even growing up in the state of Kentucky, I didn't expect these to be so enormous. But Red River Gorge is also right next to Natural Bridge State Park, which is a famous natural bridge as well, but they're all just enormous sizes. Then we hiked down to the rivers and heard about, this is called Creation Falls and Rock Bridge. So more arches over the rivers, some cool waterfalls that we got to hike and then kind of play in the river. The weather when we went was pretty cool. Not too hot, not too cold. It was really good. So the weather cooperated. I love this photo at the end of the day. And after a day of long hiking, we found this amazing ice cream place to go to. I highly recommend this. This is The Brick. After a long day of hiking, we went to set up camp. Callie's Campground, highly recommend it. Great host. They cook breakfast in the morning. They smoke meat. They have karaoke in the weekends. This was a great campsite. Then the next day, we decided to do a little off-roading. And this is something I've always wanted to do ever since I got a Jeep. I wanted to kind of find some off-road trails. And all around Red River Gorge and even outside of Red River Gorge, they have old county roads that are now used by off-roaders. A lot of Jeep clubs go up to this area. Much of this area is considered the Kentucky Adventure Trail or the Daniel Boone Backcountry Byway. These are two big trail systems through the state of Kentucky that people like to do if they own Jeeps or 4x4 Toyotas or off-road vehicles. A lot of overlanding where they'll take 3 or 4 nights or more, and they will go off-roading and camp and more off-roading and camp. This was just a lot of fun, and I was pretty impressed with my Jeep. I didn't do anything extreme. I didn't want to tear anything up or mess the Jeep up because we still needed to head back home. But very fun, just getting off-road again. Anytime I can get off-road and sling some mud and get in some water, my son and I were just really happy. And then it was time to head back home, and since my son has his permit, he needed some practice time, so this nice stretch of road was a good place for him to drive and head back and get his practice in. So guys, now we're back home, and that was our trip. We were so excited to check everything out, and we were excited to tell Tangi what we found because now she really wants to go. Especially after telling her about the campground. There's a lake you can fish in there. Like I said, they have live music occasionally. It was just well run, super nice people, and they had great food there too. So you either can cook out over the campfire and do your own food, or they have food available if you want to buy food there. They have their own Facebook page, Callie's Campground, also Facebook page for Red River Gorge, for Natural Bridge State Park. So if you want to know any more information about those places, just check out their Facebook pages. And always like and subscribe, follow along with us if you like our videos, and we appreciate you watching. And until next time, everybody be safe. God bless.